I've always prided myself on having a full head of thick hair. But then it started to thin. So what did I do to thicken it, and how did I do it? Let's get into it. While on vacation 6 months ago at the beach, my wife noticed that I was starting to lose hair on top of my head. I'd never had problems before, so when I got to my office, I had one of my employees take a picture of the top of my head, and here it was. Where's the hair? If you've ever found yourself losing hair, you know it can be pretty freaky. So yes, I totally freaked out. But as a doctor who's educated millions of people on how to thicken their hair holistically, I knew that I had to act immediately. If you lose too much hair and you have areas that are completely bald, there's nothing that you can do short of surgery to help grow it back. And I knew that I did not want to undergo surgery. I also did not want to take any type of prescription medication or over-the-counter medication like Rogaine or Propecia if I could help it. So this is what I did to regrow my hair holistically. It's not uncommon for people who have episodes of extreme stress to find that their hair is falling out. Well, as a surgeon, I'm under constant stress. I always worry that something is going to happen to one of my patients. And I was not going to give up being a surgeon, so what else could I do? Well, I started being more consistent with two practices, yoga and meditation. I now practice yoga twice a week pretty regularly, and I meditate more than I ever did before. Now, nutritional deficiencies are another major cause of hair loss, whether you're a man or a woman. So I started taking the top nutritional supplement for thinning hair. It's called Nutrafol. Nutrafol contains vitamins, minerals, amino acids, and nutrients such as biotin that specifically target thinning hair and cause your hair to get thicker. There are 3 versions of Nutrafol that you can take. They have a men's version, which I started taking. It's 4 capsules a day. There's a women's version, and there's a women's balance. The women's version is specifically made for women who are pre-menopausal, and women's balance is made for women who are either perimenopausal or postmenopausal. Now, I take these 4 capsules every night at dinner, and if you're considering taking Nutrafol for thinning hair, check it out at my website, younbeauty.com. We'll put a link in the caption below. The other thing that I started doing with my hair is I started low-light laser treatments. Low-light laser treatments are scientifically proven to help thicken hair that has gotten thinner. And basically, these are what we call cold lasers. They don't create any heat or anything like that. And these lasers can actually target your hair follicles. They can help increase metabolism in the area and put the hair into a growth phase. Now, I specifically use the iRestore hair growth system. And this basically is a helmet that I put on my head for 25 minutes every other day. The iRestore floods my scalp with 282 lasers and LEDs. And I kind of describe it like watering plants. Like you need to water plants to allow them to grow. Now with thinning hair, the laser is like the water and your hair is like your plants. Now I use my iRestore every other night, typically when I'm watching TV or reading a book. There's absolutely no pain associated with it. I do feel a little bit of warmth, but I'm not sure if it's from the laser or just the fact that I've got this helmet on top of my head. And like the Nutrafol, we do have a link in the caption below if you're interested in trying the iRestore hair growth system. Now, one other thing that I did is I started using a rosemary oil shampoo. Now, there was a study that compared topical rosemary oil. So you take basically rosemary oil like an essential oil, you dilute it with the carrier oil, and you apply it to your scalp. They compared the effects of topical rosemary oil to minoxidil, otherwise known as Rogaine. Now, minoxidil is the most popular and possibly the most effective medication that you can use to help regrow thinning hair. And it found that when you compared topical rosemary oil to minoxidil, the results were almost identical. The only difference was that rosemary oil had less irritation than minoxidil. So I started using a shampoo every day that contained topical rosemary oil. Now, more recently, I switched over to a shampoo from Nutrafol. They recently came out with a shampoo specifically made for people who have thinning hair. And I just started using that recently, and I'm hoping to see some more nice changes with it. Now, there are links, once again, in the caption below if you're thinking about trying one of these products. Now, there's one thing that I didn't do that honestly I probably should have because it may have improved my overall results. And that is using, like I mentioned before, minoxidil. There's no reason why you can't use both rosemary oil and minoxidil to help regrow your hair. They don't work necessarily in the same way. But once again, like I mentioned earlier, I really wanted to avoid any type of medications, whether they were over-the-counter or prescription, and try to treat my thinning hair holistically. Now I know you're wondering, what happened to my hair? Well, take a look at this photo right up here, because this is how I look like prior to starting this holistic regimen. And this is how I look like today, 6 months later after doing this for 6 months. And you can see there is a pretty nice change here. Now I still have some thinning of the hair on the top of my head, but it's definitely improved. If I had to make a guess, I'd probably say it's about 40 to 50% improvement at least from what I used to have. So at this point, I'm going to continue with the treatments, mainly with the iRestore laser helmet, with the Nutrafol supplement and the Nutrafol shampoo, and I hope to show you results in another 6 months of how good my hair looks. Well, this is just a short video of what I did to treat my hair holistically, but there are other options that I didn't mention because I didn't do them in this video, and I did recommend them in the video right up here where I give you the entire plethora of holistic options for thinning hair. If you've got issues with thinning hair, take a peek at it because there are a lot of great suggestions in that video for you. And remember, eat real food, use clean skincare, and only consider actual plastic surgery as a last resort.